you mind leading this?
I don't know. I didn't hear that this meeting is being recorded because I don't have my headphones in.
Well, we're recording now.
Oh, and I got the message on the screen.
Great. It didn't say it virtually, though? Like the voice?
Well, my headphones are plugged in, so it said it, but
right.
I can't hear
You
anything.
didn't hear it, right.
You probably heard it.
I'm going to take my well, no, because I'm the one that pressed record. I'm going to take my headphones off because I can hear you echoing now into my headphones.
I love
so
that.
this will be better.
Perfect.
Okay, so now we don't
We're
have
off
headphones.
to a great start.
We're going to see if we have any quality. How did I do it earlier this year? Did I just
You look
do it
like you're
this?
mixing.
I know. All right. This is fine. It's going to be good. Let me pull up what I had before. Okay, great, cool. Great.
We hit the level of our relationship that we start tickling.
We did. How did that come up?
You had a migraine, which, by the
migraine.
way, I am not good with any
He's
sort
terrible
of
in crises.
like crisis. Yeah. So
it's fine because we can't hear it. We might not be able to hear it. We'll just ignore it. Pretend it didn't happen.
Okay. So we're at the Dollar Tree, and Justin says to me, just to let you know, I have a migraine, so I tend to go in and out of, like, understanding words, which was already a bad sign. Like, so he starts with that. I was like,
I go in and out of understanding words, and then I
yeah,
said,
okay. I'm like, okay. And then you're like, and I also start to go, my tongue is swelling. My tongue is not swelling.
Numb. It was going numb.
So if I start overcompensating with my words,
Or I start slurring.
That's why. Yeah. I was like, did anyone else's legs just completely go limp? Like, as I'm hearing this.
Mine legs
Yeah,
went limp.
well, yours too, because the next thing you said to me was, and I start to kind of, like, get numb and lose, like, feeling in me limbs. So I'm standing there like, am I gonna like have to call 911?
We were at the dollar store.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if people know.
Yeah.
No, you don't, because I just have to deal with it. 911 doesn't do anything.
But this is what you do. You go. So if I start just. Oh, let me show the camera. Let me redo that. So if I just start. But he does it like, and it like grazes me, my body. So I was like, what? If you start tickling me? Like if we
I don't know why I did that. I still don't know why I did that.
I don't either.
I think my arm was going numb, and so I was like, if I just start like, I don't know, trying to get
yeah,
my
but the
arm
way you
onto
did
the
it was
table.
literally. I was like,
And so,
okay,
did
so if
you
he
say
starts
tickle?
tickling me.
Did I say
Yeah,
tickle?
I was like, you're gonna start tickling me, and you said yes.
Did I? I see. This is. I don't know.
Oh no, I don't know if
remember
you said
this.
yes or not. I'm sorry. But you were the one like, yeah, we reached that stage in our relation. Or no. You were like, do you want me to something? And I was like, whoa. We just got to
tickling.
I was like,
we're just tickling.
Whoa.
We
We just got to tickling,
We're
sir.
just tickling.
So yeah, I have an itch in my nose. This is already going so well.
We've had a day. We've had a good day. We're in person again.
We are in person
which
again.
is really nice. I've been off for a couple of weeks from school, but at the time of this recording, I go back again. This coming week, I don't really feel like going back yet. I'm
Which
still
is
so
barbaric.
tired.
The fact that you have to go back in
I'm so
July is
tired. I don't want to do
awful.
it. That's fine. I do. It'll be fun. It'll be good to
you go
see
back in
people.
June.
Well, May 31st. Yeah, June.
Mm.
May 31st, my first day of class. Yeah, but it'll be great. And then July, I get some time off, and then that's the only summer I get in the program because then I'm working with
sucks.
clients. So then
That
I got to
sucks.
take PTO,
Mm.
like you do.
I just put in the mother of all time off
Yeah,
requests
you're working
in June.
12 days next month.
I'm working 12 days out of the 30, but I guess that includes weekends too. Like I'm not working weekends, but those days off also include weekends. But I took like almost every
Would you
Friday
typically
off.
work like 20 days? Like say there's 4
I
weeks in a
guess,
month,
yeah.
5 days in a work week?
I
like,
guess, yeah. So I still took off
See
like
that
8
math?
days.
Just want to point that out.
I know.
That was
Recreational. Very recreational. Paid time even. I took off like, who the hell is like humping the house? Do you hear that? Like the house,
heard
the
there's
entire
something
house is
happening.
shaking.
We're at Nick's house today,
You can tell.
and there's some noises.
Uh,
Is someone in that closet?
Yeah. Me for
Do
17
you need to
years.
show your camera?
Like who
It
is
truly
actually
sounds like,
scaling
is someone
the
on
wall?
the grill?
I don't know. I mean, there is a grill, but it's not like we're on the second floor.
I know.
Anyways, all right. So we'll just
you can
we'll
keep
just
going.
roll
I'm
with
gonna
it.
investigate.
He's going to investigate. So now I'm going to sit here and talk to myself. Okay, but it sounds like they're like doing the
getting your
like
tools.
helicopter landing on the
The
roof.
Is
I know
that the
what
air
it is.
conditioning
It's
unit?
the air conditioning. Yeah, no, my dad's definitely climbing the
ladder?
Oh, I hope the video gets it. I might have to turn the camera.
You're gonna have to turn the camera. What is it?
Oh,
Can
there
you-
he is. Hold
Can you
on.
explain what's happening? I can't see.
I don't want to turn the camera because I don't want to mess up the angle that we have going. But also, this would be really iconic.
The air conditioning
I
unit is
really,
being
really
ripped out
hope
of the
that
house
he-
right now.
Yeah, I really
by
hope he just like picks his head up.
Mr. Gervasi, aka Gary.
It-
I'm just fascinated by this.
this whole thing
I've
is-
never seen anything like it.
I haven't either.
Okay, this is something we've talked about on the show before, but and we were trying to think of a way to do it, and we figured let's just do the whole quiz online here. But Meyers-Briggs personality types.
I'm
Familiar?
curious. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm curious to know what people who know us think as we're taking the quiz.
Think we are, or think how we'll answer?
Yeah. Like,
Yes.
I think we should take
All
it at
of
the
the
same
above.
time. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, we're gonna take it at the same time right now.
But like with each question.
Yes.
Like we ask. Okay.
I'm also curious because I feel pretty solid in my own like what my Myers-Briggs is. I know what it is. Do you know what yours is? Have you done it before?
I do. But at the same time, I don't know if I even believe in these because
Fair.
the way you answer can change depending on like where you are in life and
Right.
also like your self-perception and just I don't know, I feel like you can see yourself in
It can change
every-
over the years.
Yeah, and you can see yourself in every I feel like it's like with Zodiac when people are like, "Oh, I'm a Pisces." That's like, yeah, because I'm like so sensitive, whatever. And it's like, yeah, but you can look at
I will
an
say,
Aries
though-
and be like, yeah, but I'm also confrontational.
I will say they tried to make this more because like they use this a lot for like career counseling.
Yeah.
Like how to like find what you want to do.
I
for
had
work
to
and
take
things.
this.
Did you do it?
I had to take it in my human resources class at Loyola, and
Oh, I
I
didn't
got
notice that.
I got something different by one letter than what I get when I take the 16 personalities like version of
Okay,
the test.
interesting.
But the one we took was like a fill in the bubble, like it was a paper, and it was like
Yeah.
count all your like.
And
if
like,
you got this
did someone
amount-
from the counseling center like help score it and stuff?
I don't know.
Because there's someone at Loyola's counseling center is like certified in.
I think my teacher was also certified.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So for those who don't know, you can go to 16, that's the numbers, not the letters, personalities.com, and you can fill this out yourself. You can create a profile if you want. I really like these. I guess these would
think
be
it's
my
fun.
Zodiac. These are my like Enneagram is another one
Your
too.
BuzzFeed quiz.
These are my BuzzFeed quiz. But I also feel like it's cool to be like, okay, like, so it's based off of 4 different types of like this or that's, right? So you could be more introverted or extroverted, more sensing, more in touch with your feelings, or intuitive, which is more like, actually, looking at the next one, that might not be true. So introverted, extroverted, sensing, intuition, thinking, feeling, judging, perceiving.
To me, a lot of those are all the same though.
Well,
like thinking.
as
and
I was just explaining it, sensing, intuition, thinking, and feeling.
That's why I'm like, I'm more interested in the conversations that come with each question.
Yeah, me too.
You know?
That's how I want to do it. So I know what I am. Do you know your letter combination that you've gotten in the past?
Yes.
You do.
Do we say it? Do we
I
not
think we
say
wait.
it? Okay.
Let's wait. Let's see if it's different. Okay.
Can I say something?
Sure.
But this could
You're
also
totally
be
allowed
projection.
to say anything on your podcast.
This is true. Speaking of your podcast, can I just say something real quick? Because there's a little funny anecdote
Sure.
from the very beginning, right before we hit record. You said to me, "Do you want me to change my name, meaning your name, on Zoom?" Because last time, this is just kind of an off-air thing. It said like Pixel 6 instead of his name, and I had to edit it when we were uploading to YouTube. But you were like, "Do you want me to put my name in?" You're like, I'll just do Justin," and I was like, "Oh yeah," because we would hate
Nobody
it
knows.
if
Someone
somebody found
my
out your last name.
Yeah, that would. No one knows your last name anyway, so it's super.
Gervasi. There you go.
It's not like you say it at the end of every episode.
Oh, true. I was gonna say, I'm excited to.
Let's do it. Let's
Oh,
dive
and I
in.
want to say that one
Okay.
more time. So go. it would be terrible if someone found out your last name, because
I don't know how they'd get that information.
yeah.
All right, let's
Cool.
dive into this. So, I'm assuming our questions are the same. You regularly make new
I would
friends.
hope so. Otherwise, this
is gonna
really
be a
lacks
nightmare.
validity. Well, that
Well,
too.
I mean in the order.
Oh, okay.
Do you have you regularly make new friends as the first one? Do you have it up?
Oh, I do. I do. Sorry,
You're
I got
trying to
blanked.
answer.
I was like,
And these are rated on a 7-point scale. So 1 is strongly agree, 7 is strongly disagree, and then 4 is neutral. And we're trying not to do neutral. So we'll do like 1.
Okay.
I don't need to explain what not neutral is.
We could even call it. Let's do it this way. Let's just say 3, 2, 1 versus agree or disagree. I feel like that makes
I
sense.
don't-
Oh, there is neutral. So neutral 0, 1 leaning towards agree, 2
you mean
leaning towards
the
agree, or
strength
3.
for that way?
Yeah,
Okay.
instead of saying like 4 versus 7.
Great,
'cause
let's do
that's-
that. So you can. So a 3 is the strongest agree or disagree, and we'll say like 3 on the degree side, or we'll say 2, 1, and that's the less
Yeah. Do you want
intensity.
me to? Do you want me to explain it again? So, because we just explained it how we're gonna do it, and it's not actually how we're gonna do it. Because you said like
Sure. Maybe
Alright, so
explain
the-
for me. I don't know. what-
Did I know? Okay. So basically the way we're going to do it is we're going to look at the question, and then there's 7 options to answer. So there's neutral, which is a 0, and then there's a 1 through 3 for the agree side of the spectrum, and a 1 through 3 for the disagree side of the spectrum. So if I say 3 for agree, I'm strongly agreeing. Or if I say 3 for disagree, I'm strongly disagreeing with the statement. And if I say 1, I'm like kind of disagreeing with the statement. If it's 1 for disagree and 1 for agree is I kind of agree, and then I guess 2 for agree would be middle of the road leaning towards agree. I guess you'd you understand. Okay.
Do you want to answer for each other?
Like moderately.
Like
Sure. Yeah.
like-
We will. I say we just have a conversation.
Sure.
Um.
You don't want to actually do the results?
Well, we'll do that too. Yeah.
Okay.
But I
I'm
thought-
saying, no, I'm saying like, I can like whatever you say, I
Yeah.
can put your results onto my computer. You can put my results into your
Are
computer.
we gonna
and we'll see
remember
what
to
we get.
do that the whole time?
I don't know. We'll
I
figure.
feel
it
like we should just click
out. Just
on
do our
own.
own answers.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
But we can like talk it out. You
Okay.
you regularly.
We have such chaotic. I'm sorry. I have such chaotic. energy
We have
today.
we have such chaotic energy today. You're more chaotic than normal, for sure today.
Because I'm not in a semester right now, so I'm allowed to just be like, woo.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more like tired today.
Yeah. I should
think.
be. I'm running on fumes.
Yeah. Usually I feel like I'm the giddy one. Right? Would you say that?
Yeah.
Not giddy, but like more animated.
Dance strong legal argument. That's it's.
Yeah. I was like, I think I'm more like. You're more serious usually. That's what I'll
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. I think so.
That's the right word.
Yeah.
But that's
I'm
not the
learning
question.
to let loose a little bit, I guess.
I love that.
I'm
I don't
trying.
think you're like a. I don't think you're like
Stuck
a
up, a little.
stuck up. No, and like with people love you. You're like the life of the party. You
Look at me.
regularly make new. Look at me. Look at me. We're cutting all of that. Question 1 or statement.
Here we
Question 1. Oh.
go. Just having fun.
Statement 1. You regularly make new friends.
I'm saying 1 or 2 towards degrees. Agree. Agree
Oh, I
side.
should say disagree.
No, agree side. I think.
Yeah. You lock in your answer, and then I'll tell you what I think.
All right. For me or for you?
For you.
Okay. I think let's see. You regularly make new friends. Okay. Locked in. What do you think?
I would say 2 for you.
I did 2.
Towards agree.
Yeah.
I would have said 3 because I just think of you as a very friendly person. But since getting to know you more, you've expressed that sometimes you're like anxious in new situations.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I went with a 2.
I also think
But
I'm
I think you're good at it.
I'm always I'm always friendly, and I'm not always looking to make a new friend necessarily. Like I
Same.
feel like if I'm in like when I moved back to Baltimore, okay, I was looking to make new friends, but like I'm not always looking to. This sounds so mean, but like add people to my life. If I'm pretty happy with how things are going right now, I'll always be friendly, and and if it happens naturally, great. But I feel like regularly implies some sort of like routine, like you're
Right.
just always making new friends.
Right. And
Maybe
I
I'm
don't.
looking too deep into this, but
Well,
that's how I'm.
and I don't want to make it too like relatable to our age group. Like I don't want to do that
Yeah.
necessarily,
Yeah.
but at the same time, like we are at an age where it's like you don't go to school and have playtime with friends
Right.
anymore. Like you don't have recess.
Right.
You have your job and you're working alongside people and you make friends that way. Like I've made some good friends at my job,
Yeah.
but it's different.
Yeah.
Like if you want to go meet people, you have to like join a league.
Right.
And it's even weirder, not weirder, but it's less common to join like a sports league as an adult than it is
Right.
as a kid.
Right.
It still happens.
Sure.
I'm interested. There's a gay sports league that I'm kind of interested
Is
in.
there a specific sport, or is it
not
just
sport-
sports?
No. I don't even know what. I think it's like. Yeah, honestly, I think they do pickleball. Who knows?
Pickleball is a wonderful sport.
But I'm not interested in it. Like, look at me. I'm not interested in it for the sport. You know what I mean? Like, I
Okay.
want to meet people.
For the mingle.
The mingling. But yeah, it's just really hard, especially when, not to sound like so old, but when everybody's buried in their phones.
I agree.
I would say I'm a little bit more.
Should I say what you think?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say. I think you're one, but I don't know what direction. I think one towards agree.
That's what I
One
locked
towards agree?
myself in
Okay,
as.
cool.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more reserved. I was very shy when I was a kid. So I'm a little bit more reserved. I think I get along with people well.
Okay.
Someone usually has to make the introduction.
Okay.
Like, I'm not the person to go into someone and be like, "Hi, I'm Nick. Nice to meet you."
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I just went to an event for work, and it was a networking event. I hate networking events because I don't want to. Like, I want to talk to the people that I'm
Friendly with, familiar with. Yeah.
So there were 3 other people from the bank, and I talked to them. And then when someone else came over to us, I was very friendly to the person. I hope I was friendly. I wanted to be, welcoming. But yeah, I said 1.
Okay. Next one, you go first. So, complex and novel ideas excite you more than simple and straightforward ones.
See, what does that even mean? Because I don't think, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's such a nuanced question. Maybe it's just because I'm in the middle of the spectrum there, but I feel like there are times we like straightforward and to the point. And there are times, like, I hate gray areas, but I also like,
I feel like it's
Abstract
implying
thinking.
creativity here. Like thinking out of the box.
Okay.
Like I can tell you what I locked in. Or do you want to guess? Or
Well, not yet. I'm going to lock in mine,
Okay.
and then you can guess mine, and then we go into yours.
Okay.
Just to keep it. If that's the case,
I think you're 1 towards agree.
okay. I put 2 towards agree.
Okay.
I think I would have put 1 towards agree, or maybe even 2 towards disagree. Or, excuse me, not 2 towards disagree. Something towards disagree, had I not had the conversation with you about what it means. So I'm curious to see if my results are different at the end of this, because I'm taking it,
But I'm curious what you like.
having
You
conversation with
saw
someone.
it as like what?
Like, I don't like
2 complex ideas that are just
like I'm like a black and white person,
Yeah.
basically. Like, and that's something
I
that
feel
I've
like
obviously
simple and
worked on.
straightforward is I feel like black because I put. Do you want to guess what I did?
I don't know. Part
Okay.
of me wants to say neutral because I think you like.
I'm trying. So
Creative
I'll tell you
ideas?
this. I'm trying not to do neutral.
Okay.
So
I'm just
for
trying to
most
do
of mine,
accurate.
I'm trying not to do neutral.
I'm trying to do accurate. I think that you lean more naturally towards the straightforward. I think recently you've been trying to lean more into creative. So I'm going to say you said 1 disagree.
That's right. I did 1 disagree.
I'm 2
You're
for
very-
2.
You're doing
I'm
very
2 for
good.
2.
Yeah, very good. I had 1 disagree because I think I like really like cool solutions when problem solving. But I don't know. Like I think I brought this up on the show. But like there's something in philosophy called Occam's razor, which is like the simplest solution is usually the best solution. And I don't know. I find that I believe that. Like if it doesn't require it, you don't need to make something overly complicated.
Of course.
But I also love like a couple weeks ago, I just worked Loyola's baccalaureate mass, and that was a complicated situation thing, and it took a lot of people to help put it together. I wouldn't say it's novel, but it was complex, but it was also like very procedural.
So that makes sense. And I don't know if I agree or disagree when it comes to like procedures and way of doing things or ways of doing things. But I think when it comes to ideas, I think that's where the complex and novel, I think that's more of what I like. That's the complexity that I like, because I've said this before on the show, but I think especially now, let me just slap the microphone. I just like twitched. Especially now, social conversations or conversations we're having around gender and sexuality and race. Like, I think sometimes the simple, not solution, that's not the right word, but the simple thing that people arrive on often leads to, like, I feel like the compassionate and thought out answer is sometimes the more complex one. Does that make sense?
That's fair. I think we're seeing it differently, because I think
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. It also depends, because like in terms of media or like what I like to read, I tend to like really creative ideas, but that's not what it's saying. It's saying complex and not. I like new ideas. That's not even true. I like spins on old ideas. Like multiverse is very popular right now. Like just there are different universes where each one of us are living a different life based on their choices. I like Marvel did it. There's an author called Blake Crouch that I like reading. He did it, a version of it. There's so many other versions of it. I like seeing people's twists on that, or like a show that I used to watch. It's called Once Upon a Time. Are you familiar with it? It was like
we had an episode on it.
Once Upon a Time?
Yeah.
Did we?
Yes. Remember the fictional universes episode?
Oh, yes. You're right. Yeah. Yes. So that show I thought was really cool, because they took storybook characters that so many people knew and like put a twist on it. So like, I don't know. I guess that's where I landed. We're thinking of it differently, because I'm not seeing it as like gray.
Right.
And, like,
I very much am, but that's my lens. I've worked on that for a long time. But do you see what I mean by like sometimes it takes a little bit more brain power to arrive at an informed answer when talking about things?
Oh yeah.
Like hot topics today.
Oh yeah, because you can't, like, it's taught one way.
Right.
It's not necessarily
also, it's the easiest way sometimes to just say, oh, there's this and this.
Right.
Let's talk about gender
You
for a
have to
second.
think about it for yourself.
Right. Well, and like when we talk about gender, a lot of people will just say, oh, there's man and woman, and that's it. And it's like, they're not willing to do, and I think that comes from, maybe some ignorance, maybe some hate, but not willing to like put in that extra thought.
To think that it might not
critical thinking,
just be how we've always thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I think that sometimes the correct answer is not always the simplest one.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
You usually feel more persuaded by what resonates emotionally with you than by factual arguments.
Okay, I locked in.
I also locked in. This one's tough for you because, in my opinion,
feel like you're telling my fortune. It's kind of
because,
funny.
well, no, because I think you are a feeler for sure, but you're also
sound legal arguments.
Yeah, and also you're a science, like you're in the science field.
But I'm in the feely science field.
You are. Yeah. I want to say, I don't want to broaden my, like, I don't want to give a range so I get a better score of, like, what you're, but I feel like you're a 1 or a 2 towards agree. Hold on. I'm gonna say a 2 for agree.
1 agree.
Okay, so all right.
You were in the range.
All right, I was in the range, yeah.
And the reason I said that is because usually I think if I'm hearing something new or hearing an argument, I'll listen to how I'm feeling about it, how my body's feeling about it, heart, head, whatever, and then I'll see how well the people are able to, or I'm able to rationalize it with facts later. So I feel like the emotions come first, and then like the logic and the facts come later, which is maybe counterintuitive because I also see myself as pretty rationally driven.
I think you're a very rational person.
But when listening to this one, this is what I was thinking. I think you're to agree. Yeah?
I am.
Okay. Cool.
And like I said, I love like a straightforward answer, but I think I was thinking about obsessional doubt and like me, especially in the last however many years, 8 years. I mean, I've been diagnosed with OCD longer, but just the statement of it feels so real and believing it every time, whatever the fear is at the moment. But I love a good, like, this is fact. So that's what took this, like, I'm a feeler 3 down to a 2.
Down to a 2.
Um,
Your living and working spaces are clean and organized.
okay. I think I'm going to get a different score than I usually do.
Do you? You're living because we're talking about it and you're not doing it silently?
Not necessarily, just time.
Your living and working spaces are cleaned and organized. Okay. I think you... I initially was thinking 3, but I actually think you're 2 towards agree. And it's because I think when you have time, like on a weekend or like if you set aside the time to clean, you're gonna clean it, organize it, and you're not gonna finish that until it's like how you like it. But I think when you're busy, I'm thinking of your room specifically. Your room tends to be a mess. So I don't think you're working maybe, but maybe not as much living. So that's why I was like, I think you're 2 towards agree.
So, do you
No
want me
offense
answer?
to calling you out about your room.
No. This is an interesting
Yeah.
one. I said 2 towards disagree
Oh, interesting. Okay.
because I love organization
Yeah.
and I love tidy, and that's like my dream. The goal is like to have everything very organized, and when I get a fresh start, I can do that. Like at college, for example.
Yep.
I don't know how many times you saw my room in college, but especially senior year, I've said this on the show before, it constantly looked like no one lived there. Because, I mean, there was a bunch of stuff in the room, like on the walls and everything, but you could drop a penny on the bed and it would bounce. Like, that's how flat and, like, organized it was. I vacuumed all the time. But it's because I could get it to that level of, I know it wasn't perfect, but perfect enough, I guess,
Yeah,
or good
sure.
enough that it's almost perfect. When I came home, all of my childhood stuff is in my room. It's harder. It's harder for me to just say, oh, I'll chip away at it. Like, if I come home and my room's a mess, I'm going to take my clothes off and leave them on the floor because it's all or nothing. That's what I mean by the black and white. So it's really hard for me to get my room to a space where I'm happy with it. But once it's there, it'll be there. So that's what I'm really trying to focus on.
That's funny because that's kind of the same logic I use towards agree, where like you'll take the time to do it, but you're saying that you disagree because you just haven't had a fresh start in a while. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes, because it's like I've been trying to clean my room since I've been home. Like, that's low-key, not pathetic, but like I've gotten it to a place like my family has seen and been like, oh, it looks really good. And I'm like, no, it's not, because if you look like in this drawer, like the clothes are organized, but I haven't gone through the drawer and said, okay, I don't want this shirt anymore. I don't want this shirt. Like I have a high standard.
Yeah.
And so I also get lazy because it becomes a huge task.
I see. So you're not
clean.
meeting your standard either.
Yeah. And I hate saying this because I say it all the time, but that is a thing that some people experience with OCD. I saw a post about it the other day, and I had already said that to my mom, but I was like, this is literally the conversation we were having the other day in a post. Like, and she was like, yeah, it's what we were talking, it's what you said.
Yeah.
But I would love to get back to that point. But I've also kind of had this like thought process. We can talk about it a little later. Maybe we can put it in here later. I'm not sure, but about living in the now and not waiting for, oh, it's good enough, because you'll spend your whole life waiting if that's the case. Like, I don't want to be on my deathbed and say, my life wasn't good enough because my room wasn't clean. So I didn't
Right.
do X, Y, and Z because my room wasn't clean. Like, how crazy does that sound? Not to get like super whatever, but that's just so I'm trying to like live more than I would say it's good enough, and I'm still gonna, do this even though my room is messy because, you don't have to open your G2 pens or wait till your room is clean to open your G2 pens. That's wild.
Right.
So that's where I'm at. You look like you want to say something.
No,
That was a
I'm just saying,
long-winded answer.
This weed whacker might be in our, or leaf blower might be in the episode, but it's
We
fine.
love whacking the weeds.
Where do you think I fell?
I had a difficult time because I know you said you weren't going to be neutral, and part of me
Do you
thinks,
think I would, if I was going to do neutral, did you think I
No.
would fall in neutral? Okay.
No. I think you're a 1 on agree because I think you're a very like organized person when it comes to like you want to plan and you want like this is what we're gonna do and this is where but I don't think you're like, all right, this goes in this space in my room and like this has to be here. Like your room is clean, but it's not like on the like you don't have everything labeled on the wall and like in drawers and well, I mean your stuff is in drawers, but like it's not like IKEA,
Yeah.
like you know what I mean? Like it's
I'm a very clean person. I'm not necessarily the most organized. And
That's-
it's
yeah.
funny because online, like with my files and stuff on my computer, my computer's immaculate. I could find anything anywhere. Like it's
right.
It's,
Mine's not, and I want it to be that way so bad, but it's such
Really?
a hard task for me because I don't know where to start.
yeah. Well, that's how I feel about real life. Is that like full transparency? When I moved into college and when I moved to my apartment in Baltimore, my mom is very good at this. Like very,
Yes.
very good.
Yes,
at
I
this.
know
And
she
so
is.
She came in and was like, visualize the whole space, my room, my living room, my kitchen, my bathroom, put everything where she thought it should go. And then I just maintain where it
Right.
was the first time she helped me
That's that
move in.
fresh start that I need. It's funny because I, especially moving into college, because I was so anal about it. Like my mom is good at that too, and I was like, nope, I want to put everything in this. Like it has to. Like I need to do it later. Let's just put it in the room and I'll do it. I need to hire your mom to do my files and my.
On the computer?
Because that's
She's
the other
very
thing.
good at that too,
yeah,
I think.
my phone.
You could hire
Because now
me.
your phone, your smartphone, it's another computer. So I want to do the same thing with my phone.
Do you have a lot of files on your phone?
I just mean like photos.
Photos.
And yeah, I have files. I have like pages or PDFs on there. I
Okay.
have a bunch of photos from work. I just went through my like recognized people in my photo reel.
Yep,
Is that what
yeah.
it's called?
Sure.
And it was a bunch of people that it picked out from work, like coworkers. I was like, oh, rip.
I find I have nothing actually saved on my phone because everything is backed up to a
That's
cloud.
good. That's
So it's like
nice.
Google Photos or Google Drive
I need
or
your help.
Microsoft.
Honestly,
We'll
can we
spend-
do like we
let's
can
do it.
hold the file in your hand? Does it bring you
Yeah,
joy?
does it bring you joy? Yeah.
I
So
want to know what your answer was though, because
I did fall in one agree because
we know each other. This is good.
Well, you did
Scary.
2 disagree and I did 2. Anyway, the last one you did 2 disagree and I said 2 agree.
Well, we've each gotten one
Yeah.
incorrect so far.
Because I think I'm definitely clean. I'm not the most organized, and I
That's the right word.
feel really great when my space is clean.
Me
But
too.
if I'm busy or I'm stressed, I'm not going to do it. Like I'll clean, like dishes will pile up in my sink, like dust will collect, and I'll do some dusting. And I'm like, if there's a spill, I'll clean it, or I'll wipe my kitchen table. Just I'm thinking in my apartment, but I won't deep clean my apartment until stress has gone down. I'm also lazy as. So like
That's
if I
crazy
won't
to
do
me.
it,
I see it now because you've told me multiple times, but I would have never
like
said
you coming
were-
to visit or anyone coming to stay with me or just step in my apartment for dinner or whatever is the biggest motivation that I need to clean everything, and I'll do it. I'll deep clean everything. But if it's just me for some reason, I just won't. Like it's clean. It's not a pigsty by
No,
any
I know.
means. It's
I know,
just-
but I never, when you say lazy, I would have never, just, not living with you. I've never lived with you. When your mom was on the episode and she was like, if you will do it, I will let you. I was like, really? Like, Justin? Like,
Yeah.
that's just very shocking to me. But yeah.
I don't show it a lot with friends because I
Yeah, you want to put your best foot forward with
Always.
friends too.
But when I get more comfortable with you, I'd be like, this happened when we took a break a minute ago. I was just like, if there's some chips or something, that'd be great. Versus in other places, I might just go down and ask, like, oh, do you have it? And like, I'll go down with you. But you were like, can I
Right.
get something? And I'll take you up on an offer. I think a lot of people aren't good at taking up on people on offers. like asking for help, not help, but like
Yeah. Well,
just showing the independence.
yeah.
That's a whole other thing. But
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, I did do one for agree on that one.
Okay.
You usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure.
I feel like I've changed in the last 2 years. Like
Really?
I'm a totally different person. Yeah.
Different pressure from work versus different pressure from school
Yeah.
or from family. I
And
don't
from
know.
anxiety. I don't know. I feel like you're a one agree because you're very good when something happens to be like, okay, this is how we're gonna handle it. This is how we're gonna do this. Like this is. Whereas, I mean, maybe you're freaking out internally. I don't know, but I would say one agree.
I'm a 3 agree.
Okay.
I am very, very, very good in crisis and under pressure. The example I just gave, I'll clean my apartment if someone's coming over. I'll do that. If a deadline's looming, I'll write the best paper anyone's ever written. For school stuff, for like, not to bring this up, but like when my brother was graduating the same weekend that my grandfather was passing away. And so my mom was getting phone calls and my brother was coming over for like some it wasn't the commencement, but just other types of celebrations. And my mom was like, I have to go. And I was like, you go. And she's like, but we have to stay for Ryan. I'm like, nope, you go. We'll get Ryan. And like, I created a plan, bing, bom, boom, and it was done. And we figured it out and it like worked out for everybody. And I'm just very good at that. I'll like feel like the come down afterwards. That's probably why I get migraines after stress and stuff like that.
Yeah, you said
but
that
I'm
today.
very good in a moment in a stressful situation. Did you just hit your funny bone on the
Yes,
desk?
I did. Yes, I did. As I was thinking about the popcorn kernel that is on my turn.
Oh.
On my tongue.
Oh.
Just gonna scrape that off, and I don't know where to put that.
In your empty can?
Oh, good idea. I'm gonna pretend like it's still on my finger.
Is that the empty one?
Nope. Good thing it wasn't on my finger. But anyways.
But yeah, so I said 3. Usually stay calm even under a lot of pressure. And also too with a lot of stress, I've just been able to stay calm and be like, I'll get it done. When I think other people in my program or just other people in general have been like, oh my God, I have so much stuff. I'll say that.
Right.
But then when it comes down to it, just like buckle down,
Right.
here we go.
Right.
You're having trouble with this one. Did you lock one in?
No, I should probably do that.
I want to say between 1 and 2 disagree. Please stay calm even under a lot of pressure. I'm going to say 1 disagree.
That's what I have.
Yeah?
Yep.
Cool. It's funny because I wasn't sure. And then for some reason, the video of you and Tom doing your role playing with that professor's office came into play. And there was a lot of pressure. And you, even though there were some things that happened, you stayed pretty calm. And so I was like, I'm not going to do 2. I'm going to do 1.
Right.
Why 1?
So I'm either when it's my own like situation, especially when I'm at home or when I'm with somebody that I trust to like take care of it, I will start panicking. Like, I'll give them control. I'm not the person that's like, okay, we'll do this. I'll be like, no, like, what are we doing? Like, oh my God, especially if it's an anxiety thing.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm, like, having anxiety or a freak out. Like, with my parents, I'm horrible at handling stress when my parents are around because I'll basically fall and let them catch me, essentially. But at work, when somebody is like, oh my God, we got to get this done. Like, there's no way we're going to get it done. I'm just like, okay.
You don't have that scaffolding. You're responsible for keeping the team.
Well, not even that. Well, because there's only 2 of us on the team. I'm talking more like if we're on a team project or something. Someone's like, we have so much to do. Like, we're not going to get it done. Like, I sit there and I'm like, we'll get it done. Like, it's just like I've said this to you before. A ladder just like went. I really hope that. Oh, it didn't. But a ladder just like went down on the window. That was interesting. It could be because I'm not in like a role of like I'm not in a senior role, so I'm not reporting to like the president of the company, you know. So I just do like the smaller tasks. But I think of it as, you know, we're not there. We're not living to work.
Right.
I've said that before in the show.
Right.
So, and that's something that may have scared the hell out of me to hear when I was, in school or whatever, because school was my job, and I, even in middle school, really, I worked myself into the ground as a 6th through 8th grader, so all relative, but yeah, I think now it's like it's just your job.
A realization of it's not that big of a deal.
Right, and I also think we have different jobs. So like I market for a bank, you are going to be dealing with no pressure, but like, the mental health of, I don't know if it'll end up being kids or not. I know,
But ideally, the confidence level that we have in the work that we do should be able to lean on that.
Right.
Like,
But basically, what I was trying to say is I'm not like doing brain surgery.
Sure.
Like no one's gonna
right.
die if I make a mistake. So that's
Okay,
that's
so you
how I
did
feel.
one disagree there,
I said one
and
disagree.
I did 3 agree. Okay.
Yeah. So the next one, you find the idea of networking or promoting yourself to strangers very daunting.
I think you have 1 disagree.
I have 2 disagree.
2 disagree. Okay.
It's very uncomfortable
Okay.
to me to do that unless I know the group or unless I'm talking to them. I'm not going to go up and say, "Hi, I'm Nick Gervasi, and I'd like to do this for you." Like, that's very foreign to me, very uncomfortable. But I can do it from a social media perspective because
Okay.
we're all hiding behind the screens. And I do it like it is my job to promote other people, and I promote us for
The show.
the show. You know what I mean? So that's very easy because I feel like we're speaking into the void when I'm posting.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not, which is interesting because I also have that like self-consciousness of like so many people are gonna hear that. I don't mean it that way, but like people I know
Yeah.
are gonna hear this, and people's parents that I know are gonna hear this, and
Right.
and potentially.
It's funny you can separate it though, because it's like I'm thinking job interview type of thing. That's a little bit difficult. But then when you're promoting for this show, because like I doubt you're not really promoting yourself for the bank. You're promoting your company.
Right.
But this is more like personal, your brand, like this show. But you
So
don't feel the
socially-
same.
Right, socially and from a marketing perspective, definitely I can do that.
But you did
but
2 disagree.
I did 2 disagree because I'm so uncomfortable with it in real life.
Mm.
But I can do it from a but I don't think anybody really thinks about that one. Like that's a very niche answer, the marketing part of it, So that's why I brought it down one.
What do you think I did?
This one's tough. I think you did 1 disagree.
Yep.
Did you?
I did 1 disagree.
Yeah.
Because
We're good.
I'm good.
No, we're good. I said.
We're good. Oh, okay. I did 1 disagree because it's just uncomfortable. It's not like I don't like being the center of attention, but I don't like being the center of attention for prolonged periods of time. Like I don't mind like having the center of attention on me for a little bit, but it's difficult for me to just constantly be talking about myself on. So that's why I felt like I couldn't be towards agree. It's just the inherent discomfort of that is weird.
Yeah.
I did 1 disagree because if you get me on a topic that I'm passionate about or an accomplishment that I'm passionate about, it's like, oh my gosh, tell me about the podcast. Tell me about your program. I'll go on and on about that.
Or you could use our 30-second elevator pitch that we both
right,
came
that
up
we
with
did
last episode.
yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
But I'll go on for that. Like there's a whole thing where like if you don't want to talk about yourself, keep asking someone questions about themselves, and that just human nature is just go on and on about themselves.
I love that. That makes me feel good about myself. Because can I share something?
Yeah.
I think this is just my observation. You can tell me if you think I'm right or not. I think we both enjoy being the center of attention.
Collectively or just both individually?
Each of us as people. I think we're similar in that way. You just said that for prolonged you don't like it for prolonged periods of time. What happens to me is I'm like, I've talked too much about myself. Like, you go because I feel like
think there's an
self-conscious
inherent
about it.
discomfort for both of us. Eventually, in talking about ourselves for too long, it's like we can't stay up on that stage all the time.
Well, mine's more like I don't want to just like be full of you know what I mean? Like I don't want it to all be about me.
Right.
Like that feels gross.
Yeah.
But
So anyway, that's where we fell with that one.
But that makes me feel good because I obviously like, admire you as a person. So like
We feel
the fact
similarly.
that we're like similarly on that is cool.
The next one, you prioritize and plan tasks effectively, often completing them well before the deadline. So these seem like two separate things.
They
to
do.
me.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
Because I do one well and one not so well. So I'm
Do you
trying
want
to
to answer
figure out-
something and then I'll guess what you said? This is kind
Like
of
lock one
becoming
in,
like
you
a
mean?
friendship test,
It
honestly,
is.
like test
I
of your
think it's
friendship,
good.
which is really cool.
You're saying lock one in? Let's see.
I think you said agree one because the first statement is you prioritize and plan tasks effectively, which is a yes. But you often complete them well before the deadline is a strong no from what you said before. So I think you said one agree because they are two separate things. It's a difficult question.
I ended up saying one disagree because I think the deadline thing stuck with me too much. I do
I know.
prioritize and plan tasks. Here's the thing: I'll think about tasks. I won't do anything until I
right,
do the
right.
planning, I guess. But
You
like,
do- well, that's why I when I looked at it, I was like, the planning is what they're actually asking first, and then the often completing them is kind of secondary for
and
me.
I'll
But
prioritize them. I don't just completing them. Maybe I do. Maybe I have to do neutral in this one because I don't.
we already picked.
I know.
Can we
but-
switch?
I mean, I don't know, but like, I guess not. But like, you prioritize and plan tasks effectively for sure. After completing them well before the deadline. No. So that I feel like that's two parts of the statement where I feel equally strong towards both. So might as well do neutral. But I think initially I'm gonna switch it. But I think initially I did one disagree because I'm a terrible procrastinator. You locked in?
So I did lock in.
Okay. So you prioritize and plan tasks effectively after completing them well before the deadline. I think you're one or two agree.
Interesting.
And I
have
think
a
I'm gonna
three.
go. You have a three
Well,
agree?
I guess you're not gonna. Guess you're not gonna go with one or two.
So you went with three agree?
Three disagree.
Three disagree.
Yeah.
Really?
I think I'm horrible with prioritization. That's my like. It always shows up on any review I've ever done.
You know why I'm skewed?
Why?
I think because you're very good at like, lack of a better phrase, vision boarding it. So like I can see your ideas on big
that's the
boards
thing.
and like,
And
maybe it's not a plan, but it's
Right.
like ideas.
it's
there.
a plan that never works or never gets put into action. That's the thing. I can come up with lists. I do it at work. My agenda is just a running list of things, and anything that like on Monday through Wednesday I didn't do goes on the new list. So it's not like I'm doing this on Monday. I'm doing this on Tuesday. But I never complete things well before the deadline, and prioritize and plan tasks effectively is a no. I can be a hard
Interesting.
worker, and I always prioritization. I never know like do the
You're a
big
very
task
hard
for-
worker.
Thank you. I disagree. My mom says the same thing.
I think you're a
I
very
like
hard
money. I'm not even
That
kidding.
makes you sound shallow, but I don't think.
No, I don't even think that's shallow,
I think you
because I
like
like-
money, but I do think you work very hard.
Thank
I've
you.
seen that
I
in
feel-
Campus Min. I've seen that at the restaurant. Like you did the boards for the holidays. Like you worked
Yeah.
very hard for
Yeah,
that. And I
thank you.
see your projects. I don't know necessarily the details of projects at work, but I feel like you do a very good job of like putting the effort that those deserve
Thank you.
into that and kind of extracurricular.
I feel like
work
sometimes I'm on my
activities.
phone, and that is not. But I'm also
But working
like,
hard doesn't
I'm also
mean-
salary. Well, like on my phone, like distracted or like not doing. But like also like, so I'm like, am I lazy? But also, like, I'm salary now, so like I don't
But you
have
get it
to
done.
do. Yeah, I do get the stuff done. No, and like this is the thing that this is my like negative
Sure.
thought pattern. The president of the company has come down and said like, "Hey, you did a really nice job on that." And in my head, I'm like, I'm fooling all of them.
Yeah.
So, but if it's good enough, again, if it's good enough for leadership like that, then it's probably okay. So, but
I
that's
think
where
with
my
this
negative thought
question,
pattern is.
the prioritization and the planning of it. You don't.
Yeah.
You feel like you don't do effectively.
No, that's
you don't make-
I think my boss, if she heard this, would agree.
Would agree,
Like that's
yeah.
something that always comes up on. Like it's just something I need to work on. That's like a growing edge for me.
Yeah.
It always has been, though. I need to get better at it. And like actually try to get better
Yeah.
at it. But people's stories and emotions speak louder to you than numbers or data.
I locked in.
I have to look. You guess me first because
I'll
we've
guess
been
you.
flipping. Yeah.
Okay, this is where I'm thinking. I'm thinking you're maybe a one towards agree potentially because I think people's stories and emotions really do affect you and you're empathetic, compassionate that way. When it comes to like marketing and stuff, I think though, like you're very in the numbers. Like it's all about how many views, how many clicks, how many that. But I feel like maybe really, I mean, podcast stuff, you sometimes do numbers too. But I think those
I
are
feel like I'm
really the
lazy with
only-
that too, and it's a passion project. I get it, but like I'm like I want to do this, and this, and then
It can
I
always be
take
better.
responsibility for anything that like, is not going.
It can always be better, and on all sides.
Yeah, I know.
But it's just
I
like
know.
as long as we're having fun with it.
Yeah.
I think you're one agree.
I'm two agree,
Two
but I
agree.
was one agree, and I
Okay.
switched it before you guessed an answer.
Okay.
Because I think that you can make a compelling argument to me, and like if I'm looking at the numbers, like I love straightforward, but like if you say this upsets me, it's hard for me to, you know what I mean? And that's where the nuance comes in. Like it's very easy to say one thing and stick to it 100% of the time, but then if somebody says, well, this, I don't know. I'm just talking like in social situations,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like, I don't know.
It's what you talked about the previous one too, of like the complex and novel ideas versus straight in.
Yeah, well, I'm even just thinking like if I'm like I'm thinking of like Big Brother. If somebody I was like, well, the rules are like you all go to the jury house if you lose. If somebody and there was someone at one point that expressed like that they were not like comfortable going because they were afraid that people were mad at them, and I had shared that that wasn't the case, and they went, and I would hope that that was willingly, but if they said to me like flat out like I'm not going, like I'm uncomfortable, I would, as much as I'm like a rules like when it comes to that, I would have been like they're not
Yeah,
going,
fair.
they're uncomfortable,
Good example.
and I would have said the same thing to everybody else. Like if anybody had an issue with that, like in the house, I would have said, listen, like nobody loves this game here more than me and like wants it to go this way. Same with the person that thought they might not be able to stay the whole time. I really wanted them to, but I was not going to be the person that was holding someone hostage. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Holding someone hostage.
so yeah, because at the end of the day,
Where do you think I am on this?
I would say two agree. I just think you're too empathetic of a person for somebody to come to you and say something, and you say, well, the numbers show this. So
Yeah.
I'd put you at a 3 if you weren't like also a rational person, you know? I think you were 2 agree.
I actually did 1 agree. And that I think what you just said put me on the agree side. I knew I was going to be on the agree, but I didn't know the intensity because I don't know, it's I'm thinking politics a lot for this for some reason. And I think like I'll listen to how people are feeling, and I also want an accurate sense of like how is this issue affecting people by the numbers. Like
That makes sense.
and so I think that's why I would 1, because it's always the stories and the emotions that come first for me, and then it's like I think I said the same thing for complex novel ideas and simple straightforward. It's like I need to also see what the numbers say, and then that will inform how I feel.
I feel like
towards
that's a
emotions and
responsible
stories.
take, though, because you can hear a very emotional case for any argument, and while it might be moving and compelling to fix the issue for that person, if everybody else in a country feels, and this is obviously a very like black and white example, but if everybody else feels the opposite way and has equally compelling reasons, you know,
And it's like
why
who
does
is
that one person feel that way?
right?
when
And it's
the-
like who is the issue actually affecting? How do they feel about that? What do the
Right.
numbers say
True.
about that?
True. Yes.
So I felt that way too.
True. I think that's a very responsible answer.
You like to use organizing tools like schedules and lists.
I would put you at a 3 for agree. Just based on what you said with your, organizing files and you love like a game plan, I would put you at a 3. I think this was one of your stronger ones.
I did a 3 agree. My schedule is like the backbone of my life. Like I have it as a widget on my homepage of my phone. Like it's just great.
I love that.
And to-do lists are fantastic. I think you love your lists. Do you love your schedules? I think you're on the agree side. I'm gonna say 2 agree.
So I also said 3.
You're 3.
The
okay.
reason I said
I should
3.
have gone with my gut because I
Well,
knew you were
here's
gonna
the
do
thing.
that.
As you're talking about it, I'm like, oh, maybe I am a 2 because like I don't do like schedules for everything. I used to on my whiteboard at school, at college, I had like 3 o'clock, do this, 4 o'clock, but it was easier because you had classes too, so those like didn't move. You know, there were some like stagnant variables. But I love a list. Like I
you love your
love
lists.
a list.
That's
like
what I
I
just
have
said, you
since
love
I
your
was, I have since I was a toddler.
You're color coding and stuff too.
Color
right?
coding, yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, I love a list. I love yeah. So I had to go with a 3 for that one because that's like one of my passions.
Yeah, I think that one was very obvious for both of us. I knew you were going to be agree. I didn't know the severity, but I think that makes sense. Okay, so now I do you. No, even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities. I'm going to say, I don't want to say 3. So to sound like a nicer friend, I'm going to say 2 agree, but I feel like you could potentially be 3 agree. 3 agree. Okay.
Agree.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, because I could have a lazy day at work. I have had lazy days at work where I come home and I'm like, I am awful at my job. I'm getting paid to do nothing. Like, I'm going back to there's that doubt that we were talking about. It's literally in the question too, causes you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Yeah, no, that's me. I am a 3.
What do you think I did?
I think you said 1 agree because I've had conversations with you on this show where you've doubted your abilities and like especially going into grad school when you were applying and you were like, do I even not belong here, but like am I good enough for this? Like should
Like
I
imposter syndrome stuff?
Imposter syndrome, yeah. So I would say 1 agree. I've also you come off very confident and not in a cocky way. It's like very like admirable. But having, we've had these conversations before, you've said I'm actually not as confident as I'm coming off because I've told you that's how you come off and you've said, well, I'm actually not. So that's why I said 1 agree.
There's some insecurities in here.
Yeah, I mean
Gooey shell of mine.
Not the gooey shell.
I say the weirdest shit. I really
He's
do
got
say
nougat in there.
He's got nougat.
You're a chocolate with nougat in there.
Oh, we make a good team. Not the gooey shell immediately. I did do 1 agree. Yep, very good job.
Not me clapping.
Not me
You have self-doubt.
Self-doubt.
It's just because I got it right.
Yeah. And I said I knew it was going to be agree. And I think you covered it pretty comprehensively. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities. I am, and we talked about this on like the perfectionism episode. We talked about this in other episodes too, but one little mistake will make me I'll dwell on that for a very long time. I have the possibility, not always, but
can I like say something about that
Yeah.
though? Because it makes sense why we would do that. It makes sense. I want to talk right now with the American people. No,
get a desk that rolls up to you.
yeah. No, it makes sense because when you're in that moment, the present is the most. I guess maybe it's not the most powerful, but it's at least the most real. Would you say? Because you're living it.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. When you're living that's what you feel is your future and your past.
Right. Yep.
So that does make sense. So to anyone out there, I'm kidding, you feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up a conversation? I'm struggling with this one because I don't think, again, there's like, I feel like you would be good at it, but I feel like also you're not super, if like it's a total stranger, you wouldn't be like, hi, I'm Justin Dude, do you want to talk about psychology? But I still want to put you on the agree side. I feel like you're a 1 agree.
Okay. I'm on the 2 agree.
Interesting.
Because not cold calling in the self that like telemarketers cold call, but I'm very good at like if I'm in public and I observe something that someone did and I like think that they should be commended for it, I'll say like I saw what you did there. That was really good. Or like if I see a celebrity, not that this happened very much or at all, but like if I see a celebrity, I'll be very comfortable to be like, we didn't do it with her, but very comfortable with just being like, I love your work. I think what you're doing is really cool.
What celebrities
I
are
have
you
no
hanging
idea.
around?
I have no one. But like just in general, I'm very. Does that make like not the cold like does that make sense? I didn't use like the right language for like in person, but like cold calling, I'll just go up to someone and be like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like not strike up a conversation. I'm
Hi, how
Justin
are
Dew.
ya?
I have a podcast. Here's my business card. But like I don't do well with that. The self-promoting, no. But if I think someone should be complimented or something like that, or I don't know. I can't think of a good example right now. But like I feel very comfortable with going up to someone and just being like, "Hey, that was really cool of you," or "That was cool."
Yeah.
Or, I don't know.
That makes sense.
I used a lot of words and said nothing.
The crux of this show.
The crux of yeah, that's very true. Did you lock an answer in?
Yes, I did.
They didn't see that.
He just put his hand on mine, give it a little
Tickle.
tickle.
You locked one in?
I have an itch on my nose.
You feel comfortable just walking up? I'm gonna say 2 disagree, and I haven't really thought about it, and I'm gonna think about it now based on your facial reactions. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna say 2 disagree because I think you would
Mm-hmm.
if they had anything to do with Lady Gaga.
That is so. So
Her
accurate.
bandmates,
Yeah.
a fellow fandom stan.
Well, yeah, I
fellow
wouldn't go up
stan.
to her bandmates, but
You wouldn't go up to her
no,
bandmate?
no.
Oh, okay.
No, because I wouldn't want to like bother them.
Okay. I think a fellow stan you would.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think if you
So-
saw her, maybe you might be
So
like,
I said
"Hi."
disagree, 3, because I'm
3?
very uncomfortable being like, "Hi, I'm Nick Gervasi, and let's talk." Like,
You
hey, I
saw
really
it
like
very
this.
networky. I didn't see it this way.
No, but even if I want to talk to them, or if they're cute, like if I see some guy out in public, I am not
I would
going
do
up
it in
to
that.
talk to him.
I'll do it if I saw a guy that you thought were cute, I would probably go up to them and be like, "My friend
And I
thinks
would be
you're
like,
cute."
and
you'd be
I
like,
would
"No,"
be
but
like,
I wouldn't do it
"Get
for
the
myself.
I would be like, do not do that.
If there was a
You're done."
girl that I knew, or that I knew, if there was a girl that I thought was cute, I wouldn't go up to them and be like, "Hi, how are you?" I would be so embarrassed
send
the
me
same
over?
way. No, I'd be
Oh,
so
yeah, I would-
embarrassed the same way if you were like, I
would be like, do not do that. I would run after you and be like, do not do that. Although I did Alyssa one time, I found somebody attractive at we were at Lollapalooza. Very different.
Lollapalooza.
Very different. And I didn't know his name. And she just went up to him and she was like, "Hey, can I get your
She's
Instagram?"
a 3 agree on this one.
Yeah, I know. She's very good at that. And I very much appreciate it. And he was straight. So, like, it didn't even matter. She was like, "Hey, can I get your Instagram?" And she was like, "I had sunglasses on. He doesn't know who I am." I was like,
Fair.
That's bold. But you're right. It needs to take a strong interest. Like, it has to be like Lady Gaga or Big Brother. And it will usually start with, if we're in public, like, "Oh my God, I love your Lady Gaga shirt." And then I'll just start spewing. Like, one time I went into Sephora for my mom to get her something, and Rain on Me came on the radio. And I was like, "I worked for her." And she definitely thought I was lying. And I didn't work specifically for her. I interned for her foundation.
Then you
but
told her
was
that
what
you
came
had your
out.
server book and that your friend was pregnant.
Yes, I am a chronic oversharer. So that's why I said 3 disagree.
Okay. The next one is you are not too interested in discussions about various interpretations of creative works. I already know my answer for you.
Okay.
Did you lock in?
Yeah, I did.
3 disagree. I think you are
I
not
said-
too interested. I think you're very interested in discussions about various interpretations of creative works.
I
think,
am. And I said 2 disagree, and I don't know why, because it should have been a 3.
Oh, do you want to change it? I changed
No,
one.
I can't change it.
I
after the
changed one.
fact.
You can change it after the fact.
No, it's fine.
No,
I'm gonna
it
keep
has
it.
to be what you feel.
But sometimes I'm like, I just don't care. So I'm going to keep it at a 2.
Right.
But I did just write that 10-page essay
About the
on
Chromatica
the
Ball
Chromatica
tour.
Ball specifically.
Yeah. Again,
Listen.
niche topics.
My mom loved it, okay? She said it needs to be published somewhere.
Gaga Daily.
But that's just like a fan. That's not really published. Like, I posted it there.
An opinion page of the New York Times.
Yeah. You're not too interested in discussions about various interpretations of creative works. I feel like you're also a disagree, but I would say you're a 1 disagree.
Anymore. I don't know.
You claim to not be a creative person, but I think you have it in you, especially as you plan your Big Brother upcoming. But at the same
He's got
time,
it in him.
No, you do. Where I think you have less confidence in yourself than.
judge.
Although honestly, I've seen that you're like, as you get into it, you're like, well, I can actually do this. I think you just need to like set aside time to do it.
I need to build
And
confidence
you like
in myself
conversation.
by doing.
You like conversation
love
and like
conversation.
debate. So I would say a 1 or a 2 disagree.
2 disagree.
Okay.
I had 2 disagree, and I think same reason for you not being a 3 is that I think if I was a 3, I was like, I always want to hear other people's conversations, but it depends on the person. Because if someone is just so, what's the word? Begins with an A, like nose in the air, like this is how I feel about, like this is how it should be interpreted, like
Yeah.
arrogant. If someone is so arrogant about
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
agree.
this is how the artist intended and this is how it's going to be, or like this is what, like I can't have a conversation with that person, so I'm not interested in that. Like I'm interested in it with people who are like, let's have a discussion or a
Right.
conversation versus a, you don't tell me what I should see in this painting or what I should hear in this song
Exactly.
or what I should have viewed that movie as. Like let's just talk about how our interpretations
Of course.
and let's see how they compare.
I firmly believe that once something is published, if you show it to me and I say they meant to say A, B, and C,
The creator?
yeah, my interpretation is just as valid as the creators. I'm not even kidding.
I
Because
agree.
once you publish it,
It's public domain.
yeah. So can I read the end of my essay that I put up there? That's a very art pop thing too. Like that was
This?
the definition. No, you're
Oh,
raising
I
your
don't know
hand.
what I'm doing this.
I don't know what
I
you're
did
doing
this
either.
as like it's public domain. I kept
Yeah,
it here
yeah,
and I
yeah,
was
it's like you're
what was-
publishing it.
What was this? And now I'm exploring what this was. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's
it-
that's like one of the main meanings of the song art pop is like placing new meaning on things that already exist and interpreting things for yourself. But my last paragraph says, to the reader, thank you for allowing me to share my passion for Lady Gaga and this show with you. I'm immensely proud of this piece of work and also of my ability to confidently say what I learned is okay from one of my heroes. If the thoughts I shared on these 10 pages are not what the artist meant to convey with her show, they now sit in communion with and as equal to her version of the freeing truth. Art pop?
That is. You should publish that.
That's what my mom
That
said.
is very like that is a very
You're welcome to read
sophisticated
the.
like.
I love writing. That's writing down words.
How's your
'cause
novel, by the way?
I haven't touched it since novel or like little
Or
like,
the book
story
that you were
about.
intended on reading.
I haven't touched it
writing.
since I was at McLean. I wrote like 76 pages or something in McLean. Wrote like 2 pages out of McLean. Haven't touched it since, but I want to get back to it because I think that's my.
Your family loves their garage, by the way.
Honest to God, I think they're holding on to it and riding it as it goes up and down.
I think the amount of times we've sat here for like 3 hours or so, and
Yeah.
it's gone up and down probably 5 bajillion times.
Yes, but to answer, or not to answer your question, but to complete that thought, because I often don't, that is my most authentic way of communicating, because I have time to think it out and write it down. Like, if you ever want to know, like, what I'm feeling, I would say, I guess, maybe not, and now I'm, like, backtracking, but, like, you write it down, because you have time to think about it, you think it out. Like, I'm not great at speaking off the cuff.
Yeah.
So, you're welcome to read that. It's not actually 10
I'd love
pages
to read
because
it
there
at
are
some point.
pictures.
Great.
Like, they're necessary
My
pictures.
favorite type of reading. Lots of figures.
I'm actually dying to know what you think of it, having seen the show. Because it breaks it down by act. Like, it's...
But I feel like it's different. I've seen the show on HBO, not
Right. So now that you can see my reaction, my...
from being there live, though. No?
Oh, it's the same thing. It's
Okay.
the same exact show, aside from one song. Like, same outfit, same everything.
Except
But,
for
all right.
one black jumpsuit.
Oh, no, she wore the same... In my show,
okay.
Boston, she wore the same purple one.
You prioritize facts over people's feelings when determining a course of action.
That is almost the same question that we've answered before.
Yes.
So, I'm not even going to talk about this one a ton because...
Great. I think you're a 2 disagree.
Correct.
Great. What do you think I am?
I think the same thing.
Yep. Great.
Okay.
Moving on.
Awesome.
You.
We just talked about
I
that.
know we did. Go ahead.
You often allow the day to unfold without any schedule at all. That's a weird one.
This one was tough for me
Yeah.
to answer.
I think you said
You're doing the Meshuggah face. I don't think people know what that is.
SNL. Yeah, it
but
just sounds
it's-
like you're saying it's an SNL skit. Don't come for us.
You're just like a duck
Yeah.
face. Just,
Yeah.
like someone who just got
Yeah.
really bad lip injections.
Yeah, it's mocking Donald Trump on SNL. It's a great skit. Highly recommend it.
Well, it's actually Donald Trump mocking Chuck
Mocking
Schumer.
Chuck Schumer as an SNL skit. It's Alec Baldwin mocking Donald Trump, mocking
Chuck Schumer. Anyway,
Chuck Schumer mocking Donald Trump. Wow. Without any schedule at all. I think you said one agree because you love a schedule and everything, but there are also, what about just like weekends and lazy days? Like you either said one or two. Disagree, excuse me. You don't allow it to unfold. You like come up with a plan, but I also think you know, there are days where you just do nothing, like anyone.
I did one disagree.
So did I get it right?
Yeah, I think you said one disagree, right? I did one disagree, and that's because if I'm in a semester or if I'm in a working period, I love having a schedule for what I'm going to do that day, how I'm going to spend that time. There's nothing better to me than figuring out how I'm going to spend my time effectively. When it comes to downtime, not that I hate schedules, but I don't like schedules for downtime. I like what we did today, where we're like, we'll do some Big Brother stuff, and then we'll go shopping, and then we'll watch Chromatica, and then we'll do podcast stuff. I like that. That's loose. No timetables. Vacations, I like an itinerary to know, like, okay, these are things we're going to hit on. This is what we're going to do. But I don't like there to not be flexibility where it's
I'm
like
the same way with vacations.
we can veer off the schedule a little bit if we want to. I'm okay with veering off schedules for downtime, and I'm also okay going like a few days during the week, not on vacation, just downtime in general, where there's nothing planned. I'm fine with that.
Okay. I feel the same way about vacations.
Your answer. You often allow the day to unfold without any schedule at all. I think you're also one disagree.
One agree.
One agree.
Because I don't necessarily make a schedule, but like you kind of have to like.
Forgot you
When
like
you have
lists,
work-
not schedules.
Yeah. But also like you kind of when you have like a job, like there has to be some like I'm getting up at this time and then I'm going to work and then I come home. I'm gonna, But I don't like. Yeah.
Fair.
You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you first meet.
This is me to you.
Yep.
I think you locked one in already.
Mhm.
I think you're a 3 disagree.
I was gonna be a 3, but I'm a 2
A 2.
because I think since being on
Zoloft.
antidepressants, I think there's a part of me that just doesn't care.
Mm.
And that sounds like not even like cocky. I mean, I guess cocky, but also like, oh, I'm so confident. I don't mean it that way. I think part of me is just like, if they don't like me, they don't like me. But there are other parts of me that sit and worry that people don't like me for ages.
Sure.
So that's why I would be a 2 leaning 3 disagree.
Okay. What do you think I am?
I know you don't do well with not being liked. You've expressed that with a few different people to me. I would say you're a 2 because I think you disagree
What way?
because I think you have logic on your side too. I don't think you just like, oh, they don't like me, throws papers in the air and is it. You know what I mean? Like I think you're a logical person.
I'm a 3 disagree.
Interesting.
I did 3 because it's not just good first impressions. I don't know if it's reputation. I don't think
Yeah.
it's reputation, but it's like
I didn't take it as first impressions. I honestly skipped to that part of it.
I want cliche, but I always want to leave people more positively than I left them. And
That's
so
a good,
I
that's a good
think
take.
you rarely worry about whether you make good impression. I don't want anyone to feel worse. If anything, I don't care if I make a neutral impression.
Mhm.
Like they were that person, great.
Oh yeah,
Like
you
they
don't
can
wanna
say
be
that about me, but I don't want someone to be like, what an asshole. Like I
Right.
want someone like I think I do worry, not to the point where it affects my social ability,
Right.
but I do worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly all the time am like, am I a nice enough person to people? And I like when people think of me as a kind person. Like when people tell me that that's like what they think of me as, like that's a huge compliment. I'm thinking more along the lines of, oh, did they think he was obnoxious? Did they think like that type of thing? And whether people think it or not, I still want to be a kind person. But then I'm like, oh, is that narcissistic? But it's like, no, if you were if being a kind person makes you feel better about yourself, that's better than putting people down and it making you feel better about yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's saying, oh, I'm narcissistic because I like it makes me feel better when I'm a kind person, or knowing I'm a kind person. I think that's
Narcissistic
if you
about
think
your
that's
reputation and how you affect people.
well, I
In a
think
way.
it just I think if you're putting yourself down for liking or being a kind person because you want people to think of you that way, like that be the honest thing, like I don't think that's I think you're being too hard on yourself. I think it's overthinking it.
Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for the continuation of Justin and Nick's Meyers-Briggs answers and results in future episodes.
My name is Nick Gervasi.
And my name is Justin Dew.
You can reach us at our email, pointofviewpodcast@gmail.com, and on our socials, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, and TikTok for now until it goes away, @pointofviewpodcast, and X, Twitter, @pointofview. If you enjoy our show, make sure to follow the podcast and give us a rating or review wherever you get your podcasts, or share us with a friend or family member. We really appreciate it and are truly grateful for your support. As always, we hope you have a great 2 weeks. Thank you for listening, and until next time, H.